How's it going, everyone? ND Sean 45 coming at you. I know I've been pretty quiet with the videos lately, but that's just how the off season is for me. It's pretty much a dead time. There really isn't a whole lot going on. I mean, granted, spring practice is going on and teams are having their spring games, but really there's only so much you can say about it. But anyway, today was the 2013 Notre Dame Blue and Gold game, and I know I'm pretty late making this video, but after the game got over with today, I had other obligations to tend to, so I couldn't make this video right away. But regardless, here I am now, so let's just dive right into it. Now, when I've recapped this game in recent years, I'm going to say the same thing that I've said all along. With the spring game, you can't really get a 100% accurate portrayal of how the team's going to be based on the spring game alone. I mean, you just can't. I mean, there's just so many different factors that you have to figure in, and definitely a couple factors that all teams have in common is this. One, despite the fact that all these guys have been doing off-season workouts, all these guys haven't played a game, an actual football game, in 3 or 4 months, depending on what bowl they went to, or if they went to one at all. So, and even with 15 practices, you're still not going to see the greatest performances in the spring game. I mean, guys are still going to have rust in the system and kinks to work out. That's all there is to it. I mean, football is no different than any other sport out there. You have to start afresh every single year and get into rhythm and get used to the feel of the game all over again. So that's one. Number two, with all the teams out there, the whole team isn't there on the day of the spring game. I mean, of course, yeah, there's early enrollees, but all the guys of the recent incoming freshman class, they're not all there. I mean, and especially in Notre Dame's case, there's a few guys from our incoming class that I think could definitely contribute right away. Guys like Greg Bryant, running back, and linebacker Jalen Smith. Definitely a couple of guys that I could see contributing right away on, you know, and maybe not necessarily starting, but you know, getting some significant playing time early on from the get-go. So definitely a couple things you can figure in right there. But also in Notre Dame's case, there were a few guys that weren't playing today. You know, for Amir Carlisle, one of our stud running backs, or soon-to-be stud running backs, he's been, you know, plagued with injury, and he didn't play today. So again, what more can I say? There's, you know, it's not going to be an accurate portrayal in the spring game of what the team can actually do. You know, but for you know, for what it's worth, just to talk about the game a little bit. Not really surprised at a lot of the things I saw. I mean, a few mistakes, but you expect that. But really, definitely the two performances that really stood out to me today were the performances of running backs Cam McDaniel and George Atkinson III. I can't talk. But no, Cam McDaniel in particular, he was a complete workhorse out there today. I mean, every time he touched the ball, he made it count. He just was pounding through those holes, getting as much yardage as he could. Had the real nice one-handed reception that went for, I think, 20 yards or so. You know, he's really showing what a workhorse he is and what he can bring to the table for this football team. And same with George Atkinson. I mean, it was announced during the day, we heard this during the game by the announcers that he'd put on some weight and still was able to maintain his speed. And, you know, he had some real nice runs out there today. Really nice plays, nice runs. The shot that he took from Calabrese, that was vicious. So I definitely agree when they were saying you got to get your pads down, man. Lower them and just we don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose you, George. But as far as quarterback play goes, I mean, you know, one thing that was concerning, and we all noticed this, was Everett Golson was making a few of his old mistakes, which obviously we cannot have. I mean, we cannot revert back to making old mistakes. We have to, you know, he has to get above that and, you know, clean some things up. But like I said earlier, it's a spring game. Guys are going to make mistakes. Simple as that. But aside from that, I mean, he did make some really nice throws. He was very alert, very focused on what he was doing. And really, like I said all last year, this kid can only get better as a quarterback, and there's nowhere but up to go. I mean, he's really come a long way, and he could really be a big major threat in the next couple of years to come. But And as far as the defensive side of the ball goes, I can't really pinpoint one particular performance because that whole defense played well. I mean, they were, aside from the touchdown pass that the defensive backfield gave up late in the game, the defense was on top of their game today. It was phenomenal to see. But I guess if I had to pick out one performance, defensive lineman Tyler Stockton. I mean, he was just, making plays all day long, making tackles, getting in there to make the stop, and he had a real standout performance, I think. But if I had to pick one, I mean, then you have other guys like Matthias Farley. He had a few nice plays, had a nice interception, and of course our front line of Tuitt, Nix, what's his name? It's going to come to me. Oh, Sheldon Day. Durr. But no, just everyone was on their game today. It was great. As far as receiving goes, I actually was asked this by one of my followers on here, one of my viewers, and he asked me some time ago who I thought was going to be our #1 receiver. Well, after today, and like I said, I know it's not accurate, but I think T.J. Jones will be the #1 receiver, and DeVaris Daniels will be #2. Both of them really had some nice catches today, made some big plays. I know they did both miss out on a couple of opportunities, especially DeVaris Daniels in the end zone. But that's what you got the whole summer for, to work on that and just get in a rhythm. But definitely these two guys are really going to have to step up because with the recent departures that we had of Justin Ferguson and this one pains me to say, Devontae Neal transferring to Arizona. I mean, I can understand why he left because of his him going to be a first-time dad, and I can understand him wanting to be closer to his family. But man, I got to be honest, I'm going to miss that guy's speed because I felt that he really had a lot of potential with us. But no ill will towards either of those guys. When guys transfer, they usually have their reasons, and I respect that. But all I know is all the incoming guys, I think James Awanalu, tight end, what's his name? Troy Nicholas, and other guys like Corey Robinson, and I think Torrey Hunter's son is going to be, I think he's going to miss this year because from the injury, if I'm not mistaken. But still, though, whoever we have coming up at receiver, all these guys are going to have to step up and make some plays. Because it's got to work for us to be an efficient offense. If we want to get over that next hump and actually start winning national championships, every single position has to improve. And a receiver is a quarterback's bread and butter. But yeah, guys. I mean, aside from that, there's really not much more I can say about this game. Oh, I can't believe I forgot this. Freshman quarterback Malik Zaire. Now, granted, he made some mistakes today too, but tell me one freshman quarterback who doesn't. He was really, just really smooth out there today, really calm and collective, and man, this kid's got a bright future ahead of him. I mean, if he can be coached properly and built up, this kid is going to be great in the future. After Everett Golson has moved on and so on and so forth, this kid is our future, and just like Everett, he can only get better. And so I was impressed. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, really, guys, to give an overall breakdown of the game, I think we are well on our way to getting better. We're really starting to gel. We're ready to take that next step, and I think the future of the Notre Dame football team is only looking brighter. It's looking brighter and brighter every single day, and I really believe it. I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan, but I think in the next few years to come, the national championship game against Alabama is going to be a long forgotten memory. I mean, maybe not to Bama fans, of course, but you guys know where I'm going with it. What I'm getting at is we can only learn from that, move on, and just make up for it with a bunch of success down the road. So So yeah, guys, that's really all I can say for this video. I know I probably kind of rambled off there at the end, but hey, give me a break. I'm not perfect. So with that, guys, this is NDSean45 signing off. I will catch all of you guys later, and go Irish!